So guys, with us today, we are absolutely honoured to have the wonderful Phil Tippet with us. Hi, Phil.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever we are.
We're in the evening, aren't we? And you're
Yeah.
1 o'clock-ish, 1:15?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to have you on the show. Do you want me to kick off the first question?
Sure.
Yeah, cool. Obviously, as all the fans pretty much know by now, as Colin tweeted a picture of yourself, that you're going to be working on Jurassic World. We'd just like to know, like, how you got involved with the new film. Like, did you contact them or did they seek you out?
No, I got a call from the production team and ILM, and they wanted to fold me into the production. So, I've worked with Spielberg and Kathy Kennedy and Frank Marshall on a number of projects, and so, it's kind of pulling the old team back together again.
Was that exciting? Were you glad to be getting back into the world of dinosaurs?
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good. It's been a while. I thought I was over dinosaurs, but apparently it's not the case.
You can never get over dinosaurs. One of the things that when we spoke to Colin Trevorrow, what he said was that he wanted to have the feel of sort of like the original with the film, and obviously getting yourself involved is probably the best first step you could take, isn't it? Really.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I can mostly help out in the pre-production area, and helping the director frame things, and so that's kind of where I'm most valuable. Then certainly going on the set and being involved with making sure that the thing gets shot so that we can use it, and then that's pretty much where my skill set lies. And the way I look at it is kind of like mounting an expedition to go out and shoot buffalo. And so we prepare. We go out on the hunt, and we shoot, and then we bring the carcasses back, and then the army of people, artists and computer graphics guys, cut everything up into steaks and make glue out of the hooves and blankets out of the hide and whatever it is they do. And so I kind of just hang around, keep my eyes on that stuff. So that's kind of my day job.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best day jobs out there. So
you've always been like obviously fascinated with special effects, and you made a film called Prehistoric Beast, which was about dinosaurs. So obviously they've been a part of your life for a long time. Were you using Prehistoric Beast when working on the original Jurassic Park? Were you like going back to that and looking when initially, obviously before ILM took the biscuit really? Did you look back at a Prehistoric Beast and look at your work there?
No, I tend not to look back very much. So Prehistoric Beast was just what it was, and Jurassic Park is a whole different thing, all wax. So I usually look at every project as kind of starting over again, and I don't generally try and do anything that I try and find new and different ways of approaching the material.
Yeah. Were there any more like other sequences stop motion shot for the original film? Because I know on the DVD and Blu-ray there's like the raptors in the kitchen, animatics, and the road sequence. Were there any others done?
No, that was the only stop motion stuff. I mean that happened at a time just before the big sea change, and at that point in time, early in the production, Stephen and Kathy determined that they really wanted to shoot this movie quickly. In fact, Stephen told everybody, I'm going to shoot this movie like Clint Eastwood, which means like maybe you get 2 takes. So you have to move like really fast, and so that's why they ordered up this animatics. And at that time, we were going to be doing most of the work conventionally with like go motion animation and high speed miniatures, and Dennis Muren was going to do like the Gallimimus Stampede as a computer graphic thing, primarily because they were mostly wide shots, long shots. The confidence level for getting the computer graphics up to a photographically representational level was not was unknown. So when we launched doing the animatics, we wrote a band of stop motion animators. One of the ways we thought we were actually going to be working on the thing. Although the animatics were very sketchy and very kind of rough, they kind of laid out all the story beats. But what was important there was to have a template, to have, kind of do the Alfred Hitchcock thing and make the movie. And then once you've got that plan, it's just a matter, you pretty much know where everything is. Very careful about making sure that I worked with Rick Carter, the production designer, and he would get us blueprints of the sets, and so we would build scale models to the set so we knew what the dance floor was. And that really helped us while we went on developing the scenes that had previously been storyboarded by John Bell to go in and add nuance and build on top of that. So that's how we approach that stuff. And Stephen and Kathy were very adamant very early on. Oh, to answer your question, yes, there was more stuff other than just the T-Rex paddock and the Raptor kitchen. We created an entire Dinosaur Bible where we took the T-Rex and the Raptors and we ran them through some stop motion antics, where they were doing more behavioral type things, and would cut them together. And that was kind of the Bible for working out some of the coordination between Stan Winston's studio and the visual effects later on, because there was a lot of crossover and interaction that we had to be very careful about. And then one of the first things that we did that was really smart on Stephen and Kathy's part was they got the sound designer Gary Rydstrom involved. And I took over all of our Dinosaur Bible stuff and played with Gary for about a week, because it was really important going into this thing that something that I really like to do is to find the voices for the characters first, because it can be a really huge inspirational help to the animators who are, as far as I'm concerned, actors. And so if you can kind of rally around or have a touch base point with a voice that can help you visualize things, then it makes it better.
That's awesome.
You said earlier, obviously, that you don't look back on past projects and stuff. Are you doing that with Jurassic World? Because obviously they've changed the name and everything. It's like pretty much they're rebooting the whole franchise as it is. Are you doing that again for this? Are you just like going, let's let Jurassic Park lie and let's go for this completely fresh?
Well, I have my working methodology, so it's just, I just approach things differently. I mean, part of the reason that I don't look back is that there's this condition that I have after working on a film for like 2 years or so. That's kind of like the victim of a violent crime, where you just block everything out of your memory. It's the same thing as women that have more than one child. How can they keep going back and having another child?
Yeah.
They block it out. So my brain kind of works that way too. So it kind of helps, coming into a project fresh, just going like, what do we have? What can we do with it?
No, I like that. That's very uplifting.
Yeah. I mean, with the first Jurassic Park, obviously when you came aboard, did you just think you were doing it was not like another monster movie or something like that? Did you think you were just doing like a cool monster dinosaur movie, or from day one, was there like a sense that you were doing something real special?
Yeah, from day one we knew that, it was going to be, a big thing and a good thing. I mean, the path we ended up traveling once the sea change happened and everything moved to computer graphics, that was like quite a vertical climb for me, because everything was so new and, the tools had totally changed. So that was, a very steep learning curve for me and my team. And what we were charged with primarily at Tippett Studio was to lay out and create the animatic and the animation for the Raptor Kitchen scene and the Tyrannosaurus paddock. And at that point in time in history, almost all of the computer graphics animators were from Canada because they were the only places that, I think Sheridan, most of the people came from Sheridan College who taught computer graphic animation. But most of their emphasis was more on traditional so-called, Disney-esque classic 2D animation techniques, squash and stretch and bounce and, those kind of more, goofy characters, flying logos, that kind of stuff. And when it came to doing Jurassic, you had to go back more into the Ray Harryhausen, Willis O'Brien stop motion mode of, estimating the water weight of the characters and blending those characters in with photographic backgrounds and making sure that the weight and the mass and all of that stuff feels palpably, real. And so that kind of created the window or the opportunity to kind of bridge the glacial divide with a device that we call the Dinosaur Bible device. That was designed primarily by Craig Hayes and Rick Sayre, who's now at Pixar, and Brian Knapp. And essentially that was a big stop-motion articulated puppet that had little encoders in it that plugged through an umbilicus into the computer, and when the stop-motion guys moved the armature, the wireframe of the dinosaurs would move.
It's an amazing technique.
Very
looking at it on the making of the DVD of Jurassic Park, has that ever been used in any other film? Do you know?
I used a variation on Starship Troopers. We kind of have the same problem. There were not that many skilled computer graphics animators, so I would pull in stop motion animators, and we did a lot of the bugs that way.
Yeah, I don't know whether if it is that technique, but there's something slightly different, and I prefer it, using those things like Starship Troopers and Jurassic Park, the original one, to how CGI characters, act today. I mean, I really like their amazing works, but there's just something about using that stop motion tool for CGI. It just seems to pull something out of the hat that I don't think other CGI does, if you understand where I'm coming from.
It was the interim device that had to be built, because of the conditions. But now we don't use any of that stuff anymore. I mean, the skill level of the animators has grown significantly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can still get that feeling, with CG, but you gotta have the right team. Animators are actors, so the shows have to pass. You just can't hire some of them technically that can work the machines. They've got to know the weight, mass, and behavior and all that stuff.
The most recent film like that's really amazed me was Pacific Rim, and that's ILM. And I was just watching it the other day, all the making of and everything, and it blew me away. I couldn't believe how they could actually animate those characters and get the character of those creatures across through animation. It's just insane. It's amazing stuff.
They did a really great job, and they were really lucky to have a really great director.
Sorry, Phil. When you were wrapped up with the first Jurassic Park and it all got put together and it came out, and when you saw it for the first time and it became the biggest sort of movie in the world at that point, what was that feeling like that you were a part of it?
Well, when you're doing these things, you never know how it's going to turn out until you see the final print. And so Kathy Kennedy called Dennis Murin and I down to Amblin, and we screened it, just the three of us in a room. And when it was over, Kathy turned around to me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "It's not terrible." And she said, "That's exactly what I thought." And, it's just like everybody is just so happy that, oh, my God, it all did come together. Steven pulled this thing together.
Yeah, I mean, I was 8 years old when it came out, and probably your target audience, and I was just mind blown by it. It was real to me, the dinosaurs and just the whole thing, and that's obviously why we're doing this podcast. The film's just hit the nail on the head.
They've left a huge legacy.
it is kind of weird, to look back at that stuff, because I saw it again a few months back when they did the 3D, the stereoscopic release, and then not that long ago there was another, I forget what it was, 20-year get together for Starship Troopers. So I did have an opportunity to look back at those films that I hadn't seen since their release, and it was kind of shocking to see how those two films in particular and the quality of the work are remain of a really high standard in many ways, like a lot higher than a lot of crap that's being done today. So
yeah, definitely.
Definitely. I mean, Starship Troopers and Jurassic Park are both in my personal top 10 films. They're so rewatchable, and because they never get old, and they never seem to lose any of their power. And it's just amazing stuff. So congratulations on those two pieces of work, man. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I was lucky.
What's it like to be sort of part of one of the biggest internet memes at the moment? The you had one job, Phil. That must be kind of weird. That sort of like 20 years after the film came out, all of a sudden this sort of becomes like a internet sensation, if you will.
Yeah, it is weird, and quite frankly, I don't understand it. It's like, why don't people have anything better to do?
No, they don't. I don't think they do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a question, a personal one. I was going to say, if you could go back and convert any film into stop motion, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be like a monster movie or anything. It could be any film. If you could convert the whole thing into stop motion, what one would it be?
The whole movie into stop motion?
Yeah, like if it was your dream job to do that.
I would never dream of anything. No, it would be painful to consider.
That means you could pick a really easy film then, like
Nightmare Before Christmas or something.
Yeah.
Something that's already something.
I guess my mind just does not work that way. But hard to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, sort of before we wrap up, obviously we said to you before we don't like spoilers on this podcast. We don't. We don't welcome them. We just want to go back to how it was, when we see the first one. There was no. We going into Jurassic World. We don't want to see pictures for the next year and a half of like a mechanical dinosaur with 50 guys standing around it with wires hanging out of it. We just want to go in and watch the film, how it's intended to be. Is there a lot of sort of like security around the film? Are you trying to keep it as hush hush as possible, just to give that experience again?
Yeah, well, these days you have to do that.
Yeah.
You do want to play your cards very close to your chest, because you want it to be a theatrical event, and you don't want it to be denuded by overexposure.
Yeah,
it's really hard nowadays. Like as we said earlier, me and Sam have been trying to not get this film spoiled, and we're not listening to rumours and all that. But it is like I'm trying not to. I love Godzilla. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and the new film's coming out soon. And there's so many people posting pictures online of the new design, and I didn't want to see it until I saw the film, but I couldn't help but see it, and it's just it's really hard. But I can't imagine what it must be like when you're actually a person who works on these films, having to be interviewed obviously day in and day out, and go to other places and all that, and not let anything slip. Do you find it hard personally?
No, it's part of the job. It's like a requirement. It's like just keep your mouth shut. And just talk to the people that you need to.
I think I come home from work and my wife asks me how was my day at work, and I'm just like, I keep my mouth shut. So I can understand it can be easy if you want it to be. But,
and you do, like we talked about, you want to keep the audience in the dark. So once the thing's released, hopefully they will just experience something different for the first time, rather than have some overexposed thing that is being sold to them and crammed down their throats.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, obviously no spoilers, but what would you say you can expect from the new movie? Is it going to be like a thrill ride, anything like that?
Well, in the third act, there's a big fight between a giant robot gorilla and a Tyrannosaurus.
Oh yes, see, I was dreaming of that, and
Can we get some the arachnids from Starship Troopers in there as well? Just put it all in there.
is it Mechanicon? Have you got Mechanical King Kong?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Ah. Yeah.
Alright,
Well, you know that's going to be flying over the internet as soon as this drops. You know that's going to be everywhere.
Phil Tippet confirms King Kong
Yeah,
in
Mechanical.
Jurassic World.
I'll probably get fired.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
you've always got a seat here, Phil. If you get fired.
Yeah, we'll keep the third seat open for you to come be the new host if you want. All right. Is there anything else, Jack, you want to go through, or is that it?
No, that's it. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're our first Jurassic Park guest. We've had guests from the number 2, 3, and obviously Colin Trevorrow, number 4. I mean, has he mentioned us before when you've been chatting to him? He's like, oh, you should go and do that Jurassic Cast podcast.
Sam, you had to ask, didn't you?
No, he didn't mention it. I saw him Monday.
All right. I'm going to email him. He said he would. He was like, I'm going to go up to Phil. I'm going to rave on about them, so he'll come on.
No, he didn't mention anything.
All right, Phil. Well,
crush our dreams.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Just to correct myself, he may have, but I forgot. I've got a terrible memory. So.
That's the answer we want.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Phil. Well, it's been an absolute honour having you on the podcast.
It's been a pleasure.
We feel a lot more confident. Obviously we were confident before, but having you on board for Jurassic World is just made us feel a whole lot better.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, Phil.